Hello folks, this is John Oakes here today with Hankster's Hot Rods, and today in our showroom we've got another really nice car here to show you folks out there. For you Ford Mustang guys out there, really nice car for you guys. It is a 1970 Ford Mustang Mach 1, and yes, it is a true Mach 1. It decodes that along with the bucket seats that it does have in the interior, and that factory interior color would have been the black Corinthian vinyl there, and that I believe is what is in the car. So when we get there, I'll go over all that stuff with you. Now, to give you kind of a brief rundown of the vehicle here, obviously it's done here in this the dark gray metallic paint here with the black stripes. Obviously we've got the shaker hood on it. As far as the drive line on this car goes, it is in fact the 351 motor that it does state that it has here, but it's not the original motor. As best as we can tell, it's a 351 Cleveland period correct motor. As far as the transmission goes, we've got the 433 4-speed manual transmission, and then as far as the rear end on the car, it is a 9-inch Ford 323 gearing in that differential. As far as our running gear, as far as steering and brakes, we've got a manual steering car. However, it has been upgraded to the Flaming River steering rack, a very nice component here on this car. As far as brakes go, it is power brakes though, disc brakes on the front, drums on the rear, and it's been upgraded up front here to a set of 4-piston Baer brakes with drilled and slotted rotors here on the front. And as far as wheels and tires, obviously a slight upgrade there too. We've got the American Racing Torq thrust wheels here, the gray or magnesium painted centers along with the polished lips, and of course the popular tire here is the BFGoodrich Radial TAs, and those are going to be 215 60 R15s on the front, and then 255 60 R15s out here on the rear of the car. That kind of gives you, the basic overview of the vehicle. So we'll go ahead now, we'll start with our walk around, and we're going to try to point out, the condition of everything as we go around the vehicle. So again, along with all of our brake work, like our bumpers and such, we do in fact have the wheel lip moldings on this car. Again, the condition of those moldings are in great shape. There's no dents or dings, and they're all attached good and secure to the vehicle. The wheels and tires, those are in great shape. As we work our way back on the car here, we do of course have the Mustang script here on the front fenders, along with the Mach 1 cladding here along the rockers here, all the way down the side of the car here. Those are all in good shape, very nice and straight, and again, same thing, all attached good and secure to the car. Now, as far as our panel fitment when it comes to the driver's side, we've got our door, or I should say our fender to door, and then our door to quarter panel elevation here. Those are dead on with this car here. That's a very nice fit. The actual gaps on the door are very nice and tight. Again, that's a good look and a good fit for the car. And of course, all the body lines are all in alignment here as you work your way back the car. So all panel fitment, all very nice on the car. We'll come back up here. We've got both mirrors here. We've got the driver's side and the passenger side, the body colored mirrors, and the driver's side is a remote adjust mirror. So it's got the little crank inside there. You can go ahead and move that around without having to roll your window down to adjust that window. More bright work here we have as far as the drip rail moldings go, and those are in good shape too. Pretty straight all the way around the window there, and again, I always like to kind of run my finger through there to make sure how smooth it is, and it's pretty smooth up here. So again, all nice condition as far as the finish work on the car goes. And again, our windows here, the windows are slightly tinted, as you can tell. The glass, there's no chips or cracks anywhere there. Even your bright work here on your, I want to say quarter window, it is that, but it's not a roll down window. It just kind of pops out here at the back. But again, that is in great shape, as well as your door handle here, the chrome finish on that. Now let's go inside the car and we'll take a peek at the interior now. And like I said, it's got that black interior. The seats have the comfort weave inserts in them. So again, those are going to be a good comfortable seat for you, and they all match as far as front to back. All the seat belts are all present too. Retractables up front. Of course, you've got the lap belts in the rear. Factory or full length center console there too, which is in really good condition. And you see in that console, we've got the Hurst shifter there for that 4-speed manual transmission with the white Hurst shift ball with the correct pattern on it. As far as the dash goes, we've got factory dash, factory instrumentation. We do, however, have a couple of aftermarket gauges, one of which is going to be right down underneath the dash here to the left-hand side. That's a vacuum gauge. And then up here in a set of gauge pods here on the A-pillar, we do in fact have a voltage gauge and oil pressure gauge. The steering wheel, very nice steering wheel. You can see it's got the 3-bar with the wood grain trim, and it is a tilt column on this car as well. And as you can tell, the carpeting is in great shape too. No rips or tears there, no fading. Door panels are in great shape also. Even the armrest pads where you normally would see some wear and tear, these all look very, very nice here. Of course, you've got all the wood grain trim there on it as well. The carpet down below, which is a nice look. The other thing too we always look at is going to be all of our weather stripping and seals. So again, all of this is good and solid. No rips or tears anywhere in that. It's all anchored securely, just as well as the weather stripping here on the door. That is all in great shape. No rips or tears, anchored securely. We even have the rubber bump stops. Got the door sticker in here too with all your codes on it. So all of that is in good condition. We'll close it up on this side, and we'll work our way around to the other side of the car here eventually. As we come back, the quarter panel here, again, the quarter panel is nice and straight all the way back. Paint looks good on this car here too. We do have a set of the kind of like the satin black rear window louvers on this car, and those can be raised up for cleaning the window and so forth. Again, the glass underneath, there's no chips or cracks in any of that. The louvers are in really good condition too, as you can see there. Of course, on the back of the car here on our trunk, we do have the trunk wing back here. That's anchored good and secure. Your gaps on your trunk lid and the fitment overall on that trunk lid is really nice on this car too. As we make our way clearly to the back of the car here now, you can see it's got the black decal back here. You've got the Mach 1 badging here on the trunk lid. If we look right down below, we've got that nice Mustang fuel cap there. And again, it's kind of like a flip open design here. You just kind of hit the old button there and it will come loose, and just there we go. I was having a problem grabbing it, but anyways, that's how that works. A very nice look on these Mustangs. All your cladding back here, that black kind of looks like a honeycomb pattern on the Mach 1s. That's all in nice shape. Your taillight lenses and bezels are all in great shape too. There's no chips or cracks in the lenses, and the nice bright work here looks very good. Again, there's no pitting in that. The rear bumper, the chrome on that's in really great condition. There's no pitting, no scratches or cracks in the chrome. That all looks nice. If we look down below in the rear lower valance, we do see that we have the rear backup lights down here, and those lenses and bezels are in great shape. And then we also see the turn down exhaust tips that's on this car. Now what we always do here is we'll open the trunk lid up, show you the condition of everything here. So let's open that up. All right, so with the trunk open, first and foremost, you saw that the key does actually work the trunk lock. Your hinges and springs all functioning as they should. Now the interior of this trunk has been kind of done up really, really nice. You've got it all carpeted with some custom panels in here. We've got a full set of floor mats that obviously come with the car also. And then as you can tell, it has a slightly upgraded stereo system in it. The head unit in the car has been upgraded to a Pioneer AM/FM CD player. We've got the kick panel speakers and package tray speakers in the interior of the car. And then of course you can see that somebody has installed a nice box in here for the subwoofers, a couple of Phoenix Gold amps in here also. Everything's been done really, really nice and tasteful back here. Just a very nice look for the trunk back here too. And as far as the trunk lid, the paint is going to be the same as the exterior of the car. All of your weather stripping or your trunk seals here, those are all in great shape, and you even have the little rubber bump stops so that when you close the trunk, it fits down on those nice and securely. Water channels or the rain gutters back here are all good and solid also. So again, that's going to direct that water right out the back of the car. You know, all your the ridges and so forth, all good and solid. There's no holes in anything. So again, you're not going to get any kind of elements from the outside inside your trunk. So we'll close this up. Again, shuts very nice and easy. So we'll work our way around now to the passenger side. So again, I always stand back, look at the sides of the car, and this side, as is the other side, very nice and straight the whole way down the side of the car. Quarter panels in great shape. Again, all of our bright work, all of which has been already looked over. It is all in great shape and all attached good and secure. We'll get to our door here because again, we do want to check the gaps on this side too. And they're very, very, you know, nice tight gaps, very uniform front to back. And again, same thing, our elevations and again, the alignment as far as the body lines and everything, all have been adjusted very, very nicely. Same thing here on the glass, no chips or cracks anywhere with our door glass or that quarter window. And again, the bright work here, those drip rail moldings, those all look to be in really, really nice shape. As I mentioned before, we've got the matching style mirror over here on the passenger side. Again, the condition of the exterior of the motor or mirror is great, as well as the actual glass in the mirror itself. Now we'll open the door up from this side. That way we can take a peek and see everything from the passenger side as well. And again, the dash is in great shape. The seats and so forth, all of your upholstery all looks very nice with no rips or tears in any of it. Same thing with that carpeting, as I mentioned before. Like I said, back in the trunk area, that does have a slightly upgraded radio with the Pioneer head unit. It's also got the kick panel speakers as well as speakers in the package tray. And then as far as the seat belts, as I mentioned, full seat belts, even has the lap or the shoulder belts, I should say, strung up along the headliner there so that you can utilize those as well. Up here we do have our weather stripping and seals all the way around the door, and again, same thing over here, no rips or tears anywhere. Those are all complete, nicely secured as they should be. Same way with the weather stripping around the door, and again, your door panel here all looks to be in great condition on the car. Factory air too on this car, and we'll show you a little bit more of that as we go underneath the hood. So that door shuts nice and easy, good solid shutting door. We've got our antenna up here on the top of the fender, not power, just manual, but you can go ahead and raise that to get you a little better reception there. As we come around the front of the car now, of course, this is our typical 1970 Ford Mustang front end for the Mach 1. Nice chrome front bumper here. Same thing, there's no pitting, scratches, or cracks anywhere. We look down below, we've got that black front air dam there to kind of complete that whole aero package look on the car with that, as well as that rear trunk spoiler. The hood itself, all steel. You can see it's got that shaker scoop in there, which is a very nice look on these cars. It's got the hood pins, All of our gaps around that hood are in great shape. The stripes look great on the car too. As we come up here to the windshield, no chips or cracks in the windshield. Bright work all the way around that window, looks great and anchored down good and secure as well. Your windshield wiper arms, those are in great condition, and a nice set of blades to go along with that. As we come back up towards the front, before we raise this hood up, we'll just briefly go over the grille itself, and the grille is all complete. There's no breaks or cracks anywhere in that. Same thing with all of your lenses for your lights, no chips or cracks in any of that stuff there. So let's go ahead. We're going to get our hood all opened up here for you. Now sometimes you got to play with these hood pins here. Sometimes they come off really easy. There we go. Sometimes you got to play with them a little bit. We got ours opened up pretty decent there, and then of course we raise the hood up. You can see the underside of the hood all good and solid underneath here. All of the bracing all intact. There's been no modifications whatsoever. Again, painted up nicely on the underside here. And then as far as the engine compartment, we'll start to talk about the motor, what components are on it. So starting at the top, we've got that shaker hood scoop, of course your air cleaner assembly right underneath there. That's going to be all pretty much like factory or OE stuff there. Right underneath that is a Holley 4-barrel carburetor, and it does have the factory or OE stock intake manifold on it. It's got stock appearing valve covers on it, all painted that Ford blue that you would expect to see underneath the hood of a Mustang. And as far as the ignition system goes on this car, pretty much all MSD components here. You've got the MSD distributor, you've got a blaster coil over there, and then tucked underneath your windshield washer fill bottle there is an MSD 6AL box there. So again, all good components, and they've even finished it off nicely with a nice set of MSD superconductor plug wires, and these are 8.5 millimeter plug wires. As I mentioned, this car does have the factory air conditioning in it. Belts are all hooked up on it. All your lines are all run. It is functioning, so it blows nice and cold here, so you don't have to worry about that. As far as radiator goes for cooling, this is going to be a stock or OE style radiator. It does have a complete shroud on it with the steel fan blade, and this is in fact a clutch fan here also. As you can see, it's got the chrome fender brace, the chrome strut tower braces back there too to, just add a little bit of flashiness to it. All your belts, all your hoses, all are in good shape. No leaks or drips anywhere whatsoever underneath here. You've got just a mechanical fuel pump, so you don't have to worry about anything electrical going bad there. As I mentioned earlier too, this is a manual steering car, but it does have that upgraded Flaming River steering rack on it. So I mean, the steering feels very, very good on the car having that upgraded rack. And then it is power brakes, and like I said, front brakes upgraded to a set of Baer 4-piston calipers, drilled slotted rotors there, and then drums out on the back, complete with the emergency brake all hooked up. So that's pretty much it, other than like the exhaust. Exhaust on this car is a complete 2¼ inch exhaust with cross pipes in it and the Flowmaster mufflers. So it's going to have a really nice, deep tone to it as far as the exhaust note. That transmission is that 433 4-speed manual, and again, the rear gear was a 323 gear in the differential, and that is the 9-inch Ford rear end. With that said, that's pretty much everything as we've walked around our car. Now, as I always kind of go over with everybody right now, depending on where you're seeing this video from, if you're not on our company website, I always recommend that you go there because you're going to see upwards of 100 photos of this car, all the way around, inside, underneath, all that stuff. a list of, you know, the description, all the options for the car. You're going to see everything that we just went over in type, so that you can, you know, you can even print that stuff out if you'd like to. If there's anything also that you might not see on the car that you maybe want to have added, some accessories and so forth after the fact, you could definitely give us a call and let us know what that is. We'll be glad to get you pricing on parts and labor and so forth to have whatever it might be installed. Like I said, big popular ones are going to be things like air conditioning, which you already have on this car, maybe the power steering. So that would be something possibly for a car like this to kind of make it a very nice complete car. Not that it isn't, but again, that one thing I can see that maybe somebody thinks is missing would be that power steering. But anyways, that's pretty much it for our walk around. We're going to go ahead, close the hood up on this car. We're going to get it around in our shop on our lift so that we can then go underneath the car and go through the complete underside with you here on the video. So if you give us just a few minutes, we'll meet back up with you there and we'll go do that, and then we'll finally fire this motor up for you as well. That way you get to hear exactly what it sounds like. Welcome back, folks. Sorry about that there. We've got our 70 Ford Mustang Mach 1 here up on our lift now. So we're going to go ahead and go through this car just as we always do. I'm going to point out to you all the different components and so forth underneath here, as well as go over the condition of everything here that we can see underneath the car. So starting at the front here, of course, we've got that black front air dam, and again, it is in great condition. Looks like it's pretty much all new here. It's got all the correct hardware in it, keeping it mounted good and secure there. There's no cracks whatsoever underneath here, so that all looks good and solid as far as that front air dam goes. Right back behind that, our radiator, and again, you know, we already know that it's the like an OE style radiator, but what we're looking for is leaks or drips anywhere around the bottom side of the radiator, and this is all nice and dry. Everything around the petcocks to the hoses on the lower side of the radiator, all dry. Again, I can see our fan shroud from underneath here, and I can tell you that it is all good and complete. No pieces broke or anything. It's a good solid shroud, and that's going to help pull that air through that radiator and keep things cool. As far as the steering and suspension up front here on our 70 Mustang here, well, with the Mustangs, you've got that strut rod front suspension here, and that's what these are here. All your bushings here at your frame and so forth, those are all in good shape. All the mounting hardware and such back to the lower control arms, those are all in good condition too. As far as the rest of the components for the steering and suspension, we'll start with our 1-inch front sway bar here on the front of our car. The sway bar bushings both at the frame as well as back at your sway bar end links here all look to be in good shape. There's no splits or cracks in any of it, so that's going to keep everything nice and solid across the front end. Of course, our control arms here for the car, these are going to be just OE, just your standard stamped steel components here. Ball joints and such all look good on both sides. They all have the little rubber dust boot covers on them. And as far as the steering goes here, aftermarket steering rack on this. Now this is a manual steering car, but it's got a Flaming River steering rack on it. And again, everything looks great. Again, the condition of the rack is in great shape. All the boots over top of your tie rods and such, those are all in great shape too. Tie rods and tie rod ends in all good condition too. Braking components up front. Now this is a power brake car. It is disc brakes up front. It's Baer brakes. It's a 4-piston caliper up front with the drilled slotted rotors. So again, it's a braking upgrade on the car, and these things should stop phenomenal here for you. And of course, we got the drums out on the rear. But again, front is not OE. Like I said, Baer brakes, 4-piston caliper along with the drilled slotted rotors. And then as far as our wheel and tire combo, obviously we got to see that from our walk around video, but we do have the 15-inch American Racing Torq thrust wheels here. They've got the gray painted centers with the polished lip. And then as far as those tires go, all BFGoodrich tires all the way around, the radial TAs. And then the size on the fronts are 215/60 R15s. Again, treads in great shape here. We'll take a look at the back once we get back there. We'll move in here now towards the center so we can start talking about the drive line on the car and kind of the condition, you know, checking to make sure there's no leaks or drips anywhere. So again, at the bottom here of our 351 motor, that oil pan itself is nice and dry all the way around the seal, at the drain plug, and at the back of the pan. No leaks whatsoever. The transmission, that's that 433 4-speed manual transmission. It's got the cover here in front of the flywheel, so that's going to protect that. Everything that we see underneath here as far as the transmission is all dry, leak-free. Even if we come back to the output shaft seal where your slip yoke from your drive shaft slides in, that is nice and dry also. Transmission cross member as well as the mount is all in good condition, good and solid back here. The exhaust, coming off of our cast exhaust manifolds, we've got a 2 1/4 inch exhaust all the way back. It's got the crossover pipes in it there and a set of Flowmaster mufflers back here to give it a nice deep tone. Then as far as the frame and the floors on the car go. Now everything is good and solid underneath here. Frame looks to be nice and square, nice and straight all the way back through. It does have a set of frame connectors in here to stiffen everything up for you. The floors, like I said, good and solid now, but it does look as though they have done a patch. I would assume this is the front floors here on both sides, the same section, both sides. And you can tell they've actually used the correct metal on the car, not just flat steel or anything like that. You can see it is the actual floor pans for the car, and you can see all the bracing and the stamping lines all through all of it there. And everything's been cut. They've been installed nicely, seam sealed everything, so that all looks good underneath here. Come back to the drive shaft. Steel drive shaft, it is balanced, so that's going to eliminate those drive line vibrations. Universals have both been checked out on the car. Those are all in good condition as well. Move out to the sides here, and I'm going to inspect those pinch welds as well as the rockers on both sides. And the pinch welds are straight, rockers are good and solid on both sides. We can see that, you know, fuel lines and brake lines are run right along that pinch weld there the whole way back. Very nice and neatly there. We do in fact have all the emergency brake cables all hooked up, all plumbed to the rear drum brakes, and they are all functional. So as we come back here now to the rear end of the car, we'll first start with the differential here. So this is a 9-inch Ford rear end. The gear in here is a 323 non-posi unit, but yes, you have the 9-inch Ford, which is a good strong rear end with that 323 gear. The suspension back here, we've got the multi-leaf suspension, and we've got the KYB gas adjust shocks here, not only on the back, but we've got the KYB shocks on the front as well. So a good match set of shocks there to control any kind of dampening and so forth on the car. As I said before, kind of looking at condition here, so I'm looking at the rear end. That third member assembly on the Ford actually mounts in from the front here. That is all nice and dry the whole way around, as well as the pinion on this rear end. We come back here to the fuel tank. This is your stock fuel tank here. It is in great shape. There's no dents or dings anywhere. Fuel lines are all good and dry all the way back through, including right here at the sender here where they all hook up. And the exhaust, to finish that off, course, coming off of our Flowmaster mufflers, we do have a set of tailpipes there with a nice set of turn down tips here that come right out underneath that lower valance on the rear end. Again, frame sections that we see underneath here are all nice and straight, good and solid. And from what we can see underneath here of the trunk floors, that is all good and solid. Now again, we've already seen the trunk from the inside, or from the top side I should say, and again that fuel tank, it does make up a majority of the trunk floor, because with the Mustangs they do actually mount in from that top side there. But again, all of which, that all looks good. One thing I did fail to mention, it does have the rear sway bar on the car also. I believe that's a 1/2 inch sway bar on the rear, so again that's going to keep the rear end nice and tight on this car as well. So that's pretty much it, other than just going over the size of the tires. Like I said, still obviously the same wheel combination there, same tires, the BFGoodrich, but on the back it is a 255/60 R15. That's pretty much it for the underside of our 70 Mustang here. I kind of take this time now to let you guys know that if you're in the market for an enclosed car trailer, we are an ATC trailer dealer now. We've got multiple models right here on the premises in stock, ready to be sold and ready to put one of these inside of it too for ease of transportation. If you're interested in a trailer, by all means, give us a call. You can also view those trailers one of two ways. You can go through our car website, just click on the inventory tab, and on the drop down you'll see trailers. Just click there, it'll take you to the trailer site. Or you can go directly there by going to hankstershaulers.com, and you'll be able to see all the photos of our inventory. You'll see the pricing, the options, the descriptions, all that stuff on each and every trailer that we have here. So yeah, if you're looking for one of those, go ahead and give us a call there. We'll be glad to help you out. And again, if you're one of our car customers, we'll obviously do our best to work with you there as far as pricing goes. So with that said, we'll go ahead and lower this down now off of the lift. We're going to go underneath the hood now. We'll fire that 351 motor up, let you hear what that motor along with this exhaust system all sound like.